Today is a fun one. I want to share about the spirit world being the real deal and how fake and facade this world is that we live in. So, live most of our consciousness in, I should say. All right. So, I hope that you guys have seen The Matrix. If you haven't, I recommend you going and watching the first video. The second two, they get all weird and stuff. But the first video, the concept of it is great. Basically, it's saying that there's a video game world that humanity is trapped in, and that we need to wake up to the real world, which is the whole thing around the Matrix. It's really fun, but it's such a true concept. This world that we live most of our consciousness in, this physical world, 3D physical world, is a matrix. It's a video game, it's a hologram, it is not the real deal. And I love sharing about why. So, everything that you see is made up of atoms. From living to dead things, everything on the planet is made up of atoms. You probably learned in school that atoms are made up of smaller particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. Now, the first fun fact about atoms. If you were to take a single atom and blow it up to the size of a football stadium, the size of the protons, neutrons, and electrons would be the size of a grape. So a grape in the size of a football stadium, that's how much space is in atoms. That's mind-blowing. Now we're going to take it one step further. Protons, neutrons, and electrons are made up of smaller particles called quarks. And quarks, when they were able to get a big enough microscope to see what those were made of, wait for it, those are made of sound waves. Yes, sound waves. Now, that made a lot of scientists uneasy. They didn't like the reality that everything that they see and are is sound waves, and have to answer the question of whose sound waves are they? Where did those sound waves come from? So a lot of scientists will say that it's an energy signature, but when you do your digging, that energy signature is sound waves. So cool. So, backing up to this 3D world, everything that we see, everything that we are in this physical dimension, this 3D dimension, is sound. It's sound. It's not really real. So the reason why my hands don't go through each other is because there's enough resistance between these sound waves and these sound waves to not go through each other. But there's a ton of space in atoms, and then the atoms themselves are made up of sound waves. So this is all the video game, the hologram, the Matrix. It is not the real deal. The spirit world is the real deal. The spirit world is what is affecting this 3D dimension. So you have a spirit that is connected to your body. Your body is gonna die. It is not gonna last forever, but your spirit is, and your spirit, that's the thing that really matters. And I love the way that Francis Chan, he explains eternity and by putting this 30-foot rope out on the stage. And yes, eternity goes on forever and ever. Technically it doesn't have a beginning or an end, but to create the example, he has a 30-foot rope, and he says, this is eternity. And then at the very, very end of the rope, there's a little piece of red tape wrapped around it. And he says, this is your time here on earth. We get so caught up in this little itty bitty bit of red, so I'm going to do this little bit of red, I'm going to work really hard so that I can play really hard here, and I can do this, this, and this, and this little itty bitty bit of red, and we have lost the perspective of eternity. We have lost the perspective of what's going on in the spirit world. So in this itty bitty bit of red, we get so caught up over, oh no, my sound wave broke down today, and I don't know if I'll have enough sound waves to make it through the month, and I don't know if I'll have enough sound waves to do what I wanted to do, and oh, I'm so hungry, I could really use some sound waves right now. You guys picking up what I'm throwing down? You think that's air you're breathing? Your sound waves are breathing sound waves? Guys, that's why the supernatural is so easy. A broken bone is the sound waves are just missing. So the sound waves just need to realign. And walking through walls, there's so much space in atoms. It's really easy. Walking on water, it's walking on sound waves or walking on a different type of sound waves. We just have to get outside of the box, thinking of this 3D world and being so caught up in the laws of this 3D world and the reality of this 3D world, because this 3D world is the training center. It's the practice. It's the, oh, what is those video games that you play before you go and you actually practice the real thing? But it's that, for the spiritual realm. It is practice and not the real deal. So my challenge to you is not get so caught up in this 3D world. Don't get so caught up with earthly things, because there is so much more of a greater reality for us to be experiencing and understanding and walking out when we realize that the spirit realm is the real deal and we're living from that reality here on earth instead of living on this earth and trying to tap into the real deal. So that's my thoughts for you today. Have a great one. I do just want to make a quick comment about what I was saying earlier with the supernatural being super easy. It is really easy, but we have to learn how to do it first for it to be easy, and I am not there yet. So I don't want to sound like that I'm there and I'm figuring out how to walk through walls and all that stuff yet. It is going to be really easy. Just like for a little baby, it's really difficult for them to figure out how to walk, and it's like a whole other world for them to figure out the balance and how does this work and understanding gravity and which muscles to use and all of that. It's really difficult for a baby, but now it's second nature for us as adults. We don't even think about walking. It's not something that we have to consciously, like, one foot in front of the other. It's not work to figure out how to walk, but it is for a little baby. So that's where I feel like it is something that's super easy, and it's very simple. We just have to learn how to do it, and then it will be easy. I'm not there yet, but I am on that journey, and I'm excited for it to become super easy for me, and I'm excited for it to become super easy for other people as well. So I wanted to give that last little tidbit with the Matrix and things being easy for moving in the supernatural. With that, have a great day.